All right. So, so even though, because we're only on the 15-minute chart, we got a little bit of momentum pre-market, but it's not enough because we closed, and I mean, let's see where we closed at. So we closed at 433.2, right? So let's go back to the 15-minute, and we are currently at 433.06. So we do have a little bit of momentum here, but for me, like normally when I see a low hit, generally another low can hit. So this will indicate lower lows, right? Until we reverse. So we have to have signs of reversal. So generally on the smaller time frames, when we're looking at it from this perspective, we want to look at and see if we can find the reversal on the hourly. So that's what you're looking at, the reversal on the hourly. And normally it'll be a candlestick that will indicate a reversal. And see how here it's rejecting a little bit. So and this is all white noise, okay? This is all very, very small time frames, white noise. So you can't really get a good picture on these time frames, but you can kind of see the trend here, right? So you got low, lower low, you got lower low, you hit this low of 431.9. And of course, anytime you have these pullbacks, you're going to receive these small little bounces before you continue to keep going down. So let's take a look at the hour. So the hour is what I will look at for potential reversal here. So remember this, you got this low down here. We know that our support is around here somewhere. So this is the area where we want to see a reversal candlestick. So reversals are like dojis, they're hammers. An engulfing candle can, or ignition candle can be a sign of a reversal. So it's the candlesticks you want to look at that will indicate a reversal here. I do see, I mean, we don't have indicators, they lag a little bit. There's no money flow here, but this is not enough to like tell me that we're going to continue to keep going down. But I do see this low here, and then it kind of gets higher here, but we need to keep this volume. With how we open kind of determines a lot, because if we're going to open below yesterday's close, you got to be careful, because that could also indicate more downward momentum. Right now, I don't see a lot going on with the bulls. It's not a lot of strength. I mean, it is Monday, and we're at support now. So this area we could just be real stagnant over here. So today, I mean, it could be very possible that there's not a really big move. Let's look at the 4 hour and see what that wants to tell us. You see, this is the bearish. This is bearish here.
Yeah.
Look at this. You see how this is up like this. This is considered kind of like, I look at it like a double top, right?
Double top, yes.
Yep. And then you come straight down. You have that little bounce, because you're always going to have a bounce, even in the downtrends, right? And then we're down low again. We're low. And there's really no pattern that's showing me that we want to reverse right now. So I did draw my support and resistance lines here. So we have a support here at 431. If we don't push through this, it's actually 426.6 is the new support, which is the new floor. And you can see here that the 200 MA is acting as support here as well. So resistance is still at 436.19. So if we can hold this 431, we'll more than likely take it up to 436.3. If we fall through 431, then our next floor is around like 426. So that's what we're looking at for like the day trading and the day trading aspect of it all. But remember, as long as we hold 417 like all together, we're still in a good pace. So even if we pull back all the way to the 428-ish, we just need to hold the area where we broke out at. This is the daily. Let's get the monthly here. We just want to hold that breakout area, which is like the 417.
Yeah.
Down here. And we opened up here on the month of June on this candle. So even if we come back down and we close, and as long as we close below 417, it's still the floor, which means it's still holding. It's still pretty strong.
Right.
So that's why even if we pull back a little bit more, I wouldn't. Let me see what this was last week's candle. See how we close here in red from this pullback here. So today's open will be very important, even in the weekly, because if we open up below this candle here on the weekly, that's gonna signal a more pullback, right? And it wants to continue to pull back here into this level. So let me see. That's interesting. I didn't think about looking at the weekly open. That was 432 or 433-ish.
Mm.
Go down.
Good morning, Des. Wow.
Good morning. You're breaking up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Morning.
It's breaking up a lot.
We can't really hear you, Londell. All right. So can you hear me though? Am I clear?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
better.
he's clearer too.
We're glad to see you in here.
I was screaming. I was saying, I'm so happy to be back. Good morning. Good morning. I joined last time on YouTube, but I couldn't chime in, and I was like, check out Ruth. But so happy to be back. Good morning, everyone.
I'm happy to hear your voice.
I miss you, Des. I miss you, Des. I miss you.
Oh, thank you. I miss you guys too, really. Like, I really enjoyed the show, like the camaraderie, the community. So I'm
Yes.
definitely glad to be back. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. So we were just talking about how it looks like there's going to be some more possible selling pressure.
Before Londell rudely interrupted.
All right, guys. So yeah, so again, this is our support here. This is where we close. But we want to, in any time that when we pull back, we want to see a reversal too. So not only like for the hourly, we want to catch the reversal to see if it wants to switch here, but even on the daily, you want to see a reversal too at your support. So with Friday's candle, this to me definitely indicated more selling pressure. And it's because Wicks determine a lot too. And the way I use Wicks is I look at like how the stock moved for the day and where they closed. So we know that we opened up lower, right? We came all the way up, we touched up here, and the buyers tried to, bring it up, but the sellers came back in and pushed it all the way down and they closed. So this was a pretty big wick here, which indicate that buyers are still in control right now. Okay. And then, of course, we look here at pre-market and we hit a low of 431.9. So this is the area that we're paying attention to because this is a significant support area. But again, as long as we hold above 417, we're still on good pace. So even if we fall below this 431 and take it to the next support, we're still good. We're still all good, especially for more long-term momentum. Okay. But not a lot of pressure here. So let's take a look at SQQQQ and see kind of where they're at right now. So this was the resistance wall that we were looking at last week. And remember, guys, when you have your support and resistance, how do you know which one is more dominant? So for instance, with resistance, you see we keep touching the ceiling, right? When we keep touching the ceiling, it's an indication that they want to burst through the ceiling, right? If we kept touching the floor, it would be an indication that they want to fall through the floor. So based on what I'm seeing here, I know this is support and I know this is resistance. We're pushing more up on resistance than we are in the support zone. So this is an indication that SQQQ wants to push above. So if SQQQ pushes above this resistance, then SPY is going to take it down to the next level of support. So that's why it's good to look at both of them when you're trading, because as long as they're in opposition of each other, then that means that you're on the right track. Okay. So if we can push past this resistance wall, then we're coming up to the next resistance. So the next resistance would be 20.86 once this breaks. But once this breaks, this wall right here will become the new support. Okay. So let's look at it on the daily and see. Yeah, you see that's that was a doji that was created here. at this area, and this is yeah, sorry, it's small.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, that's a doji. So let's take a look. We closed at 20.02. Now remember, if we open up above this level, it is going to indicate we want to take it to the next phase. So we closed at 20.02. Let's see where we're at now. We're a little bit above the wall, because you see how this is the wall on this was the wall on the daily chart right here, right? We're a little bit above it right now. I mean, it's only 8:11. We still have an hour left, but if we can maintain this and stay and open up above this, this is going to be an indication that we want to take it to the next level. And I'm only on the 1 minute, guys. You're going to see a lot of movement here. This is too much white noise, right? So even though you see this, these are just 1 minute candles. So let's take a look at that. Let's look at it on a 30-minute. See, we're above we're above the 15-minute, we're above the 200 MA here too. So, and these are smaller time frames, but I mean, it's, you know, the details matter. So you can kind of see this pattern here. That's, so staying above this would create a bullish flag. So if we can maintain this level here, this is new support. If it can, we can push past it and then possibly break. But again, even if this happens, that's okay, because we still have a lot more room to potentially pull back with SPY and still being in a good space. So those patterns that I drew was just a double bottom, potential flag, holding above the 200 MA, which is showing me signs of potential bullish momentum here with SQQQ. And if SQQQ has bullish momentum, then more than likely SPY is going in the opposite direction. Let's take a look at Apple and see if they're following SPY. Apple still has like a lot of momentum here. Let's look at the daily. All right, so they hit a high of 187.5. They broke this resistance wall here on Friday. So let's see where they're at right now. 186.6, 186.6. They are currently at one. Yeah, they're holding. Damn, Apple is freaking tough. This is the wall that I'm looking at. See how they're holding this? This is the area that we closed above, which was a resistance area on Friday.
Yes.
See, we're not even close to the support area. We're on top of this resistance right here. This is the 4 hour. We're still holding on Apple.
Apple is really strong.
Yeah. Yeah, we're still running. Apple is crazy gone. Look at this. We're still running. I mean, at some point, Apple's gonna pull back though, but it's a matter of when. Like, look at this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is 15 weeks here.
Yeah.
And then even prior to that, you still had about a month.
Exactly.
A month of run up. So, I mean, at some point, a stock is going to get exhausted. So it's just a matter of when. I mean, Apple still, like, look how long they kind of been overbought here. Just be careful with them, because when Apple pulls back, it's going to freaking pull back.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for, the pullback. Forget
because
about
remember, the longer a stock runs like that, the more momentum it has like that, the pullback will be
harder to fall.
Yeah, the pullback will be very strong.
I think Apple has been carrying SPY.
Yes. Yes.
Apple and Tesla. Tesla was
yes, and
this month.
But Tesla fell hard. They fell hard.
Well, they had a look at them. Are you talking about on Friday? I mean, last week. right here. You're talking about this little pullback.
Well, yeah, because they had gone to 290, wasn't it? But now they're like at 254.
Yeah, they hit two. Yeah, they hit this too. Yeah, they did. But you got to think the ATR on Tesla is really high too. So
Yeah.
remember, their movement is like when they move a lot at one time. But
That's true.
if you look at the big picture, like I'm looking at what they did for the month, like this was a big ass candle. But look, this was the resistance, you see? So you see they broke out of this level and they just went crazy. This was this month, but then once they hit this wall, this was a resistance wall. This was the rejection point, right? So this is what you see here, this pullback. But like overall, Tesla's going crazy. Like they really pushed in the month of June. You can even see they took off. This is a lot. This is a pretty big move in just a month, but they got to this ceiling here, and that's why there's a rejection. So right now you may see Tesla pulling back because they just hit this rejection on the higher time frames. But overall, they freaking took off.
They sure did.
Yeah. All right, so oh yeah, we were back in Apple. Yeah, Apple is just going, man. Like Apple, like this is the monthly chart with Apple right here. Apple's at new highs, and this is the resistance that we created. So, I mean, at this point, because we're at new highs, there's no next resistance right here for Apple because we're in new highs right now. So, you know, we just gotta let Apple run until they exhaust out, and then once they exhaust out, there will be a pullback. Because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6 months. 6 months of just going and going. Okay. So
and historically, when Apple had a previous breakout, how many months did they go for?
Let me see. Well, we just broke out with Apple. See, I mean, unless you're talking about here, this was.
Yeah, I'm talking about before when they had the other breakouts, like that one right there. Yes.
All right, so let's take a look here. So this is a flag. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 months. But you see it's still not as strong as this, but this pullback was very strong too, right? So it's the same thing with pullbacks. When pullbacks are very strong like this, breakouts also are strong. The same thing in the opposite direction. So you had this flag here, they broke out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they had 6 good months, and then they pulled back with the rest of the market here. This is when the rest of the market pulled back, and then Apple started going about 6 months ago, and they just took off.
Another 6 months.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell when Apple's going to pull back, only because I don't have a ceiling for them. We're literally at new highs with Apple right now.
Yes.
So
just gotta watch and wait.
Yeah. I know my mentor, when he calculates new highs, he normally like calculates it based on the previous movement. So say here, right here to right here. Okay, so what is this? How much is this right here? So say this was the previous consolidation. So this is about 137 to 161. So that's about a $30 move, right? So you want to take that and then bring it up here, 161 to about 190 would be the next $30 move. So we're coming up on that. We're coming up on the double. So yeah, that would be about the time that it wants to reject. And that's just based on the calculation from the previous move. So so you got about $30 here. So then the next one would be about 190, and which we're coming up on. About right here. So it would be this here to here.
Right.
Right there to right there.
Yeah.
So that would be the calculation for the breakout when there's new highs. All you have to do is take this previous breakout and calculate in between, and then bring it up. Yeah, and that would be about what your distance is for the next breakout when you can't calculate it because we're at new highs. So that's why I think Apple, you just have to be very careful with them, because at any moment they could just go in the opposite direction. And when they do their pullback, it's pretty heavy because of how strong it's been. All right. So that's Apple. But overall, this stock is pretty weak though. You can see that they're below the 200 MA. We're just looking at potential move for the day.
Yeah. Is that SQQQ?
Yeah, it's SQQQ because I'm looking at their resistance wall right here, and you can see they're low, a little higher, a little higher. I'm looking to see if they want to break through it, because if they break through this resistance wall
Yeah,
and
SPY's
take it to
coming
the
down.
next level, yeah, SPY's coming down. Huh. Yeah, guys, we really need to just take a look here. Mondays too are pretty slow. I don't think it's going to be much movement today. It's probably going to come back down here, and it's going to be in some consolidation before a decision is made. But like what I do, because I do see kind of some bearish momentum on SPY, I don't really see a lot of volume, and generally we can see some volume pre-market. I don't really see much. The only thing we can do is just wait until this area comes, and we have to see if we can hold it. Right now we're at 433.0. We closed at 433.2. So what I'm looking is are we going to open up above Friday's close, or are we going to open up below Friday's close? If we open up below Friday's close, it's definitely a bit indication that we want to head down, especially with this wick here, with this selling pressure. And you can even kind of see we're pointing down a little bit here. So that's kind of where I'm leaning at, but it's more stagnant energy in the market right now. I don't see much volume, but I know that we are at a significant level. So at this point, we just kind of got to wait for the market to tell us. But the principle, guys, we create our zone. So we know that if we fall below this area, we're taking it to the next floor. If we can hold it, we're going to take it up to the next level up. But overall, SPY is very strong. Overall, they're strong. You can even see the trend. We're above the 200 MA. We had our breakout this month, and that's what matters. And you guys, when we were doing this before, we were waiting on this breakout for a long time. And y'all remember when we were going back and forth between these zones, like y'all even remember my frustration, like, so like, you know what I mean? Like, how long are we going to do this for? You know what I mean? From here to here, here to here, we did this shit for almost a year. So we finally got our breakout here. So now we're in the midst of a breakout, but even in breakouts, you still have your pullbacks. But overall, that we're strong. We're very strong overall. Now, at some point, again, I say this over and over, we will come back and retest this 417. So if you see a pullback in SPY and we come back down to 417, that's normal, but it's now the floor. It's not resistance. And you can see prior resistance, could not break above it. Finally, we're above it, but it's not resistance no more. It's now the new floor. It's now support. Okay. So right now, the only thing I can say for like the day-to-day trade is just, pay attention to, whether we want to fall through that 431 or not. If we hold it, we're taking it back to 436. If we fall through it, we're going to take it down to the next floor, which is about 426. But let's take a look at SNO since we've been looking at this stock too. They actually they're staying above this support level here. Even on the higher time frames, they're trying to break it. You see how this was a resistance wall in the past, right here, resistance. And once it got up here, it rejected it. So right now, and this is a high, this is a higher high. So you have this high, you have this higher high, which is an indication that they potentially may want to keep going here. And then you got the resistance. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, see, we're above this wall right here. We're sitting on top of it. Now it's a matter, can we hold it? I mean, I like the way that the patterns look here, because you see this is low, this is higher, coming higher. Anything pointing up above 50 does signal strength here. And the fact that we're holding on to this is a good indication that we want to stay above, because this is the new floor. Remember, it's very unlikely that you just fall through a floor, especially now that we're sitting on top of it. I mean, we did fall through the floor here and we came up. It was the floor here. Well, it was resistance here. Then it became the floor, fell through it, tried to break again, resistance, rejected, came down. Now it's above it again, right? But what this is showing me that it wants to keep pushing up. So even though it fell here, it's back up above this level again. And we've been touching. So the next level here for the next resistance, and this is on the higher time frames, guys, I'm looking on the weekly chart right now, would be about 208 if we can hold this level here. So let's take a look at the daily. And yeah, I like the fact that we're staying above this level here. As long as we stay above this level, and that's good signs that we want to keep going up. So this here is the resistance of 183.3. Let's see where we're at right now. 178. 178 is about right there. 178. So we're consolidating here in this zone. So these are the levels that will consolidate between, I feel like, on the daily until a break happens. But I'm seeing us push, I'm seeing us on top of the ceiling here more. As long as we keep pushing above the ceiling, then this above this would be considered a potential breakout here. So yeah, actually I like them. Are you still trading them, Ruthann?
Yes, but I don't have any plays right now, but yeah, I'm still trading them.
Yeah, and this is the 4 hour. You can see this
I
pattern
was
here.
kind of watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's a double bottom above the 200
Yes.
MA, and you're a little bit above that resistance on the higher time frames, which shows that they want to hold above. So as long as
Because
they
that's
hold
what I
above
was waiting
here,
for.
yeah. Which one?
No, I'm saying that's what I was waiting for them to see if they could hold above the resistance
Mm-hmm.
and keep going. So,
Which,
and then
yep. And but
come in on a pullback.
yep. But stocks will consolidate between zones, right? And like
Yes.
this one pulled back all the way here, but you can see how we brought it back up. We rejected it, came back down, held this level. We're coming back on it again. So,
Right.
yeah. And we're above the 200 MA too. So they're pretty strong.
Which is
I mean,
good. Which is
overall,
good.
like because I like to look at different stocks in the market to kind of give me an overall picture. And overall, guys, we're pretty strong in the market. We're pretty strong. We do track SPY because SPY kind of leads the market, right? And whatever SPY is doing, most of the time, a lot of the stocks are following SPY, but there are stocks that are pushing SPY. I think Apple's going crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do
Right
you
now.
think that has to do with the AI stocks have been going crazy lately? The AI stocks?
Yeah. But either way, I do see a lot of strength in the market, like overall. So let's take a look at
Yeah, and lessons learned: don't fight the trend.
Don't fight the trend. Don't fight the trend. We never want to go against the flow. If you
Nope.
try to fight the flow, you're gonna be on the wrong side.
Yeah.
It's funny. All right, so this is QQQ or QQQ. So let's take a look at what they look like on the right now. So they're still in this flag here. And they're holding, and this is the support for QQQ right here. So this is kind of like it's like a little bit like SPY, guys. Like, how 431 was our support. So on SPY, it's the same thing here. We're kind of right there at it. It's 359.9. So that's where we're at. But let's look at the lower time frames for them. Yeah, they look like SPY. This is kind of more bearish sentiment that I see here on the 4 hour. We're coming down here, but again, we're moving slow because we're coming at a significant support. So it's like driving really fast, right? Now you're like kind of just you're slowing down a little bit. You're slowing down. Are you gonna pick it back up, or are you gonna break down? If you break down, you're gonna go but low. So for QQQ, our next level down, if we can't hold it, it's about 352.8. What's the ATR on QQQ? Does anybody know?
Wasn't it somewhere about 6? I think I could be wrong though.
352 to 359. Well, that's about $6. It's about $6 here to here.
Okay, so that's
Yeah, 6. So yeah, so that's pretty much what I got for you guys. You know your zones. Is there any other stocks you guys would like for me to take a look at?
Intel. Can we look at Intel? Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys just really at this point, because we're coming up on this support level, we just really need to see if it holds. But what's the ticker?
INTC.
This one is a little ugly. Even traded
Yeah, I mean, I made quite a bit money because it was running and then it had taken this big dump last week, but now it looks like it's coming back up.
because they rejected this 200 MA. I don't know. As soon as I see this, it's fucking trash. All right. Sorry, I shouldn't be cussing. I need to stay professional. Y'all need to get me. If y'all hear me cuss, y'all need to be like, that's right. You're public. You're live. Okay.
I know, it sometimes you forget. Yeah.
I know. I tell you, I'm like hardcore masculine energy when I'm in these stocks. All right. So for me, I can see that this is the bearish flag right here. You see this, Ruth Ann? So you see this big pull right here. So you would anticipate these rejections here. And then you got this flag, and the top of the flag is at the 200 MA. 200 MA acts as a means of resistance. So here, so the fact that it's resisting this is just showing that it's still like in like bearish momentum right here. But let's take a look. And anytime I see a stock, especially on the higher time frames below 200 MA, it's trash. It's trash.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with these ones because these ones can have some heavy falls. Okay. But
It already had a heavy fall, so I'm just looking for the recovery.
you're looking for the recovery.
Yes.
Look at that. That's, I mean, I mean, you're gonna probably come back and test this level. I mean, it did break this wall here. You see here, and you had a little big move right here, which is good. But you see the pullbacks coming. We're looking at it'll probably come back down to about 30.7. Let's see where we're at right now. 33. The 4 hour. I mean, they are above the 200 MA here on the higher time frames. There is a little momentum and some strength on the lower time frames. So, day trading them is all right. And you can even see we're pushing above the 200 MA, but just make sure that you know that overall they're very bearish.
Bearish, yes.
Very bearish. So even if we have a little, and that's the thing about looking at the bigger time frames, just so that you stay cautious when you trade them, because even if you get a little bit of momentum, all the stocks are going to have momentum. Even in a bearish trend, you're going to get your moments of momentum, but you just got to be aware and be cautious that on the higher time frames, they are very like bearish. So these drops here is very like, it's not surprising that you have these big drops, and it could hit you at any moment, because it did reject the 200 MA here. See, once it hit this high of 36.35, it rejected it, and then now it's coming back down. The thing is, it did break this level here, even though it's a bearish flag. It did break this level here, and now it's on new support, so it's sitting on top of it. So more than likely, it'll still hold this area, but it'll probably consolidate from this support to this 200 MA, possibly. Well, this area too is pretty tough. 33.28. Where's 33.28? 33 okay, so we're above it, and that's close to where the 200. Well, that's the 1 minute. Let's see where the 200 MA is. Yep, 33.2. It's 200 MA on the hourly. Yeah, it's crazy. So it's so getting above this level here on the hourly and staying above is a good sign. Then it may want to take it back up. So I do see some bullish momentum on the lower time frame. So even if you want to day trade it, taking it up a little bit, but just be careful with them if you're day trading them, because you know overall it shit is garbage. Okay. All right. Anything else, guys? Y'all want to look at?
Can you check out FSLR, First Solar?
FSLR.
Yeah.
Oh, this is pretty.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah, this was
a bull flag right there.
Yep. And look at this. This was look at all this consolidation above below the 200 MA, and then this was a recent breakout with them. They're coming back down on support here. All right. So you got your support and your resistance, and you can see it's kind of been consolidating here. It's back down to support right now. It's your support area. Let's look at the weekly on it. Okay, so you're here at support. Ooh, but it's kind of, it's showing bearish momentum. Your next level here, if it doesn't hold that, is about 162. It's exhausted. You can see they had their run up. See, they had their run up, and I can even see that on the I could see that on the higher time frames. And this is the daily. All right, so with this one, because it pulled back, this is a very significant support that it's sitting on, but it reminds me of SPY. So you see how SPY had that candle yesterday with that wick and still at support. It's the same thing. So this can indicate more selling pressure, possibly. But you know, this area has been holding for the last 3 months, 1, 2, 3. But you see how they had wicks and ended up closing above it. So you know, where they hit lows and stuff. Right now with this one on the daily, I don't really see a lot of selling pressure right now, like a lot of momentum. But on the higher time frames, they look really nice. It looks really nice. But on the lower time frames, it reminds me of SPY. It's still in stagnant energy. It doesn't know if it wants to hold this area. The only thing we can do is we can just wait for confirmation. If they don't want to hold it, we know that we need to take it down to the next level. And this was the next level of support. That's why I chose this level here. So you see how this was resistance here, which is now support. And prior to that, this was support. So levels that were resistance and support in the past, they just recycle. So it's still news. It's either going to be support or resistance. So this here was resistance. Now it's support. This was the support before. So this would maintain support. And you can see even in the past, it was resistance. Resistance here, tried to break, rejected, resistance here, rejected. Now it became the floor. So it was resistance here, then the floor here. So if we can't hold, you know that this is your floor. Okay.
Yeah. Plus it had that gap, and it looked like it filled the gap down.
Yep. This gap here, it did.
Yeah.
That's why I said, like I said, it's Monday, guys. And this is the same thing with SPY. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to fall through, even though I'm seeing a lot of bearish momentum. It could be stagnant energy until they take the leap back up. But either way, you just got to wait for the market to tell you. But this stock reminds me of a lot like how SPY is moving right now. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. But you know, the most important thing is just being able to identify those support and resistance levels, because once you can identify the support and resistance levels, you can just allow the stock to tell you what it wants to do. But overall, you know, like I said, this is a really good stock. It had a really good takeoff. It's creating bullish patterns. Now this level is support. You can see how it was resistance here too in the past. So now it's sitting on support. It had that breakout and it's above the 200 MA. and they are over exhausted on the higher time frame. So even if they pull back to the next level, that's okay, because they had a breakout. As long as they don't, go down further past, below the breakout, then they're still, in my opinion, they're still strong. So even if they come here, it's just the prior resistance before, so it's the floor. So I still see, a strong movement for them in the future. But on the lower time frames, yeah, it's pretty. It's not a lot going on. All right. That's pretty much what I got for you guys this morning. I do want to look at Netflix.
And there are no catalysts today, so.
And see, this is what a bullish flag is. So when we look at these flags, guys, these are this is what we look at, because bullish flags will indicate a break above, and you can see it here before in like a pattern before this big fall. You can see bullish flag, then you can see the breakout. So that's why we pay attention to these bullish flags, because these bullish flags can indicate breakouts, and you can see that it did it here in Netflix too, and we're here. So we did break out here in Netflix, and we broke out of this flag. And you can see when this is crazy. So I'm going to show you guys something. So remember in SPY, when I say we broke out above this level, and then what happened the next month prior in Netflix, you can see it opened up higher. These are what breakouts look like, right? So this is a breakout on the flag. Same thing here. You see this breakout right here, and then you have this breakout, and then the next month you have it going up. And you can see it here. When the bullish flag broke out, it broke out above this resistance level, close, and then you have the next month. Now let's take a look at SPY, and let's take a look at the higher time frame. So that's why I say breakouts are important. So here you got this rectangle. This is a breakout here above. So more than likely, this were June, July. So just consistently, when you look at breakouts in other charts and to see what it looks like, normally a breakout is going to give you more momentum up. So I would not be surprised if we took July further up. Okay. But, of course, these pullbacks, you do anticipate them because stocks do pull back. So when you're on the lower time frames looking at it, it's more white noise, and you're going to see a lot more of the ups and downs and the strength plus the pullbacks and everything. But if you're looking at it from a higher perspective, minus all the white noise, you can see that overall we broke out. And that's what breakouts look like. Yeah, but I'm kind of like watching Netflix right now. I'm not really trading Netflix no more. I had a lot of time with Netflix in the past, but this fall here, I kind of stopped messing with them. But you can see that they're trying to make their way back up. And this is the next resistance for Netflix too. As you can see, it was support prior. You see how this was the support? Now they're coming back up here. So this is the next level for them right here, which is about 485. It's 448. So they got, and you can see they still have a little bit of strength pre-market. They're above the 200 MA, but they're definitely trying to make their way back up to that resistance wall. And you can even see here, like they're pretty strong. They're above the 200 MA. And if you go back to the higher time frames, this is your area of interest, because this is a breakout. This is a breakout here. The next ceiling isn't until you get here, because the last time that it was around here, you could see it was strong movement here, just going, right? There's really no stagnant energy. They created a pole here. So I would not be surprised if a pole was created here. But once it creates here, then this is going to be your possible rejection area. And then they will pull back until they try to break the wall again, if that's where they want to go. Because to be honest, I do see them trying to make their way back up. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got for you guys this morning. Anybody have any questions?
No, pretty explicit.
Yep, love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad to see you in here, Lundell. And that link that I gave you, it's good until August. So I'll just resend you guys the links. I'm only letting like this Zoom, the actual Zoom is going to be private just for us, but we will be on live YouTube for like, whoever wants to watch the show. Yeah, but I'm keeping the Zoom, just with us. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys. You all have a good day, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
You too.
All right.
All right. Take care.
Desmond.
Thank you. You too. Okay.